like making videos the first time I get up in the morning or first thing in the morning. But that bear came from this direction last night, 9 p.m.-ish, right after dark, just like a rat. And it sounded to me like it was coming this way. And I yelled and screamed. I didn't scream, I yelled. And he kind of stopped and sounded to me like he went back that way and was mudgering around. I don't know where he ended up, but I heard him in the distance. The privy's down here. And I had a suspicion this was like a bear trail. There's a deer print there. Anyway, and then for almost 2 hours I heard the bear cable squeaking in the distance. And everybody's gonna say I'm losing my mind, but it sounded to me like the bear was on its hind legs and rocking against the cables to see if he can get the bags to fall. And that's my next stop, to see if we have any food left. And there's the privy, where I've got some mountain house pad thai to contend with. Oh, fucking sore. I lost 3 or 4 hours of sleep worrying about those bears. Now I'm making my way to the bear cables, which are farther away than any bear cables I've seen at a shelter. I can see them in the distance glimmering. I don't see my bag hanging yet. I'm imagining it should. Oh wait, I do see it hanging. Oh, motherfucker. Thank God. I couldn't possibly be dreaming this whole thing, right? Or they eventually, and I did hear the bears come back down this way and disappear in the same direction they came. There had to be 2 of them at least. Oh, my bag's still there. Oh, I stayed up all night for nothing. Cuba. Friday, April 22nd already, day 35. As you probably gathered from the end of the last video and the beginning of this one, I did not sleep that well last night. However, this was the first day in 35 days I woke up with sunshine, no wind, no bitter cold, no rain, no dew. Tent was dry. The only problem was everything in my tent felt clammy last night. It was starting to feel dirty and clammy and sticky. And I don't know if that's because I went to bed with my damp t-shirt on after hiking all day. I don't know that I dried out as well as I usually do at camp before I slip into my sleeping bag, and I did not change. So I don't know if that had something to do with it, but I felt clammy. But other than that, everything was delightful this morning for the most part. Since there was only one other couple in camp, I wasn't waking up by the rustle of deflating thermarest pads or zipping tents and sleeping bags. So I ended up sleeping till a little almost 8 o'clock, and I took my time packing up and dried my footprint in the sun, hanging it in the trees. So I didn't get out of camp, and then I just started walking around 9:10, which is still an hour and 15 minutes faster than I left yesterday. So I don't know if I have a place in Erwin to stay tonight. That would be a big day at almost 17 miles. However, it doesn't look as challenging as yesterday. They haven't replied. I want to do a 0. I've been pushing some pretty good mileage for me over some pretty tough terrain, and I want to get a good rest in and laundry and all that stuff before I push to Virginia. First day in 35 days, I haven't started with my Patagonia fleece pullover. It's weird wearing my pack with just a t-shirt. It actually feels like it's too big, but you know, as I'm walking with it, it's settling in just the same as every other day. I do have an extra 14 ounces because my Patagonia is in my backpack. So I got full water, Patagonia, running low on food. I'm eating more food than usual. It's really starting to be like I'm hungry all the time, which I knew was coming. So anyway, yeah, the other couple didn't hear the bears, and I asked them if they slept with hearing plugs, and they said they have hearing aids. Well, that pretty much explains it. I tend to be more alert and paranoid and cautious and OCD and anal than everybody else in the world. So I mean, when I hear rustling outside my tent coming my way, yeah, I get a little nervous, and I don't think I'm making it up. So, they did mention there was known to be bears in the area. Yeah, just a quiet shelter, and one tent next to the shelter is a recipe for a bear invasion. And like you saw earlier, my food bag was okay. I don't think they could. I was thinking they were just batting at the cables for 2 hours straight, and maybe the loop on the bear bag would eventually give away because it isn't that substantial. Anyway, nice easy start to the day. I'm chatting too much, so let me put my phone away and put my fucking whore, put my strap my poles on and get cracking. This is like a duplicate day of Easter coming down into Hot Springs. The sun is shining on this side of the mountain the same way. The terrain's similar. The mood is similar. The only thing that's not similar is I don't think I'm going into Erwin, which would be nice. After watching yesterday's video, can anybody tell me what's going on here? The roots of that tree took the dirt from here and put it up there. I really can't believe I haven't been picked up by Netflix or some reality TV show. I mean, you'd think I'm funny now. Imagine if I had a film crew following my every move. Little audience. I'd be a cross between Anthony Bourdain and Robin Williams and probably end up suffering the same fate. I mean, I'm serious. I'm sure YouTube is cock blocking me. Or maybe I'm just not that funny after all. The endless climbs. Sometimes trees will upend rocks. And sometimes they won't. Or can't. Look how that root went around this huge rock and broke off. But you weren't moving that piece of granite. No siree, Bob. And that's how it all starts. A seedling falls in a crack of a rock, takes root. The roots go around the rock, extend into the soil, and someday the tree outweighs its root system, falls. I'm guessing in this case it isn't taking the rock with it because it's solid. This is high rocks because there's high rocks. This is North Carolina. Anybody who spent time in the forest may have run across one of these monstrosities and A, not given two shits, B, chalked it up as nature's oddity and took a picture, C, figured it was completely obvious, or D, assumed a seed had fallen on a stump that was decaying, and as the seed turned into a seedling, it wrapped its roots around the decaying stump and gained its nutrients from the stump until the stump eventually rotted away and left this formation. However, all of those answers would be wrong. The correct answer is E. This is the Bohemian playground for the tree nymphs, who have a trade relationship with the Ukrainian shelter mice in the area, who spend the day and nights mining meth, heroin, marijuana, Adderall, and the like at shelters and along the trail from the Appalachian Trail hiking community. And the nymphs use that trade agreement to fuel their bohemian parties that go on throughout the forest day and night. From what I understand, Hunter B is getting a pretty big slice of that operation too. Just ask Papa Joe. Well, I was hoping to get into Erwin later today and pushing 17 miles, but now I'm just kind of cruising through the forest at a comfortable pace because everything's full. So I'm just kind of cruising and enjoying it for once. It's a beautiful day. That's the first I could say. It's a beautiful day out here. I'm really enjoying today, as you can tell by my ability to actually see what's going on around me and getting inside my head instead of panting and worrying about the weather and getting to the next shelter. So I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but rewind. Really, it's rewind, right? You don't say I'm gonna unless you're from the South. You don't say I'm gonna rewind. But I always say it: rewind, hotel, umbrella, just kind of as a joke. David Lee Roth. But anyway, rewind or rewind. Did 22 miles with me the other day, and I left a little before him yesterday, and I got the sense he was going to take his time, but he ended up only doing 8 and getting off trail to rest his knees. He was bushed. Plus, I think he had plans to hang out with friends in Erwin anyway, so I think he just earlied up on that plan. So good for him. Hope he feels better. I haven't seen Greg Morton from Greg Morton Outdoors since Hot Springs, but he was taking his time getting out, and he's probably going at his own leisurely pace, and I'll see him again, no doubt. I just heard from Noshams and Unicorn, who I spent a lot of time with earlier in the trail. In fact, we shared a bed and breakfast together in, what the hell was the name of that place? Shit. Right before Fontana Dam. And they got off the trail for a combination of physical and family reasons. So I just heard from them today. I haven't seen Jeans, No Filter, of course Scotsman and Graybeard, Gray Dog have gotten off the trail. Of course, they were just section hiking anyway. So I'm out here all alone the last couple of days. There's still people that I think the big mileage that I'm putting on, sometimes 22, sometimes 18, 17, and my pace has kind of gotten me ahead a little bit of my old bubble, but they'll catch me. And it's funny how the biggest whiner and complainer and pussy is out here still. I guess that's my creed, though. I get it done, but I complain about it. As my boss would say, same old. If you want to estimate how old this tree is, you just count the rings. 1. That tree is 1 year old. Well, that was a delightful surprise. Here I am enjoying the day for once, and I come into Spivey Gap, And there's Marlene the trail angel. I had 2 stick cheeses, 2 bags of chips, a Coke, and a bag of Reese's peanut butter. A sleeve of Reese's peanut butter crackers, one of my favorite snacks. So thank you to her. And now I'm headed back up out of the gap. Hey, Cough Cuba fans. Well, it's 2:49. I didn't have really a plan for tonight. This was one of my plans, no business shelter. I'm at mile like 10.7. It's almost 3. And like I said earlier, I couldn't get a private room at Uncle Johnny's hostel. But I did find out they have private tenting. So I was just kind of cruising along today and enjoying the show. Had that trail magic, and then come to find out there is tenting at Uncle Johnny's for like 15 bucks. And I just as soon get there, wake up and move to my cabin. So I got another, 7 miles to push at 3 o'clock. Hopefully it's all downhill, 2, 4. So that puts me at around 6, depending. So I'm moving on. That should be about 17 miles for the day, so another pretty big mileage day. Yeah, so I guess I pushed it too hard. The top of this climb was countless PUDs, pointless ups and downs that were exhausting me out. I got 2 liters of water, now I'm dehydrated. Just passed a kid with a 1-wheeled skateboard. He's hauling that shit back up to the top of the mountain to ride it back down again. Here I am dehydrated, knees killing me, suffering from these pointless ups and downs. And these 1 or 2 miles getting into town always seem to drag on. Oh, I need some water. I hope when I get there they have some amenities. So I'll be tenting. I likely won't be showering. I don't know. The Nola-Chucky River. Nola-Chucky River. What is this, trail magic? Can't be. Looks like just a fishing lure. Nothing in there, at least. Oh shit. That would have been a nice place to have a beer. Scumbags ahead of me probably drank it all. And there's guys down there on rafts having more fun than me, of course, in the beautiful cool water, enjoying the sound of waves. And that must be Erwin. If somebody can tell me what Erwin is famous for, I'd appreciate it. And I'm headed down there somewhere. Oh, if I have it in me. What a shit show. Going to Uncle Johnny's for Mexican, hopefully. Doesn't get any cheesier than this.
Upstairs from the basement bunk room at 7 a.m. Him screaming at them and be like, "You fucking dog scratched my door." It was like square chips. It was not the dog. It's like, ruined my fucking sheets. It was very obviously like chewed by a mouse. And I've slept with that dog in shelters like 10 times. It doesn't do any of that. And he chased him down his drive.
Wait, which hostel is this?